Welcome back to the Jade in USA podcast. My name is Josh. This is episode 7 of our podcast, and I'm joined by my lovely host.
Hello,
co-host.
I'm Janie. You know us, and if you don't, you should check out our Instagram and also our other episodes. This week, we're talking about college, the college experience, and the differences between the colleges that Josh and I went to.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it. So for some background, and if you're new, we mentioned this in our own episodes, the very first couple episodes, but I graduated from the University of Michigan in 2023, so a little over a year ago. I studied sport management in the kinesiology school there, which I can kind of explain a little bit more right now, but I'm living in Chicago. Grew up in Michigan my whole life. So yeah, that's kind of the background on me. Pass it over back to Janie to kind of explain where she went to school and everything like that. But we'll get more into it as the episode goes on.
I just graduated 2024 this May from Ball State University. It's the third biggest public university in Indiana, and I double majored in music and advertising. So, yeah, let's just get right into it. Our first topic is why we chose the schools that we chose. So, Josh, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I ended up choosing the University of Michigan because I wanted to stay in state for money, financial reasons. So that was number one. So I was looking at primarily schools in Michigan, and then Michigan was kind of like my dream school all growing up. My parents went to not University of Michigan Ann Arbor, but one of the other satellite Michigan schools. So we were Michigan fans growing up. Always been Michigan fans, like my grandparents and whatnot. So sports is like a huge part of my childhood and like growing up. So I was a huge Michigan sports fan. Fell in love with going to football games when I was a kid. We'd have like season tickets and stuff. So yeah, just really wanted to go there, on top of it being like a super prestigious academic school. Excuse me. So that was kind of why I wanted to go there as like my first choice. And I originally went and applied to the School of Kinesiology because I had a friend that went there. I was from high school that was a year older than me. And, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, but she was kind of explaining her experience and like what her classes and stuff was like in the kinesiology school. So I kind of followed her footsteps. That was actually doing a major that I didn't end up graduating with. That was like athletic training, so like more like the movement science, like PT, kind of like more medical side, like traditional kinesiology. But then I ended up switching after like freshman year, or after the first semester, to sport management because I felt like it was a better fit for me, which is a little bit more of the business side of the industry, and felt like those opportunities, getting away from like having to do like organic chemistry, like those classes. I just was trying to stay away from that. So that's kind of why I chose a school in the first place, and was very grateful to have spent 4 years there. So pass it back.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of chose, I think, for the same similar reasons. I chose Ball State because it was in-state. Tuition was pretty cheap. And then I had scholarships on top of that. Half of my school was paid for by my music major, which is like, I feel like some people are like, advertising and music don't really go together. Like, yeah, like it paid for my school. So that's what I did. I chose advertising because I've always loved art and creating, like paintings and drawings and doodling, growing up. And then just like, I feel like a few things just like as I was growing up, like certain movies that I watched, TV shows, or I remember winning like a small nickel ad competition in like middle school. I think that kind of like nudged me towards advertising, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like, I can be creative and get paid for it. I'm not gonna be like a starving artist on the street. So yeah, that was kind of my rational thinking at the time. Yeah, I still want to go into advertising. I'd love to be an art director, maybe at some point, maybe do something else. We'll see. But yeah, that was my whole thing. I started in music performance. Freshman year, I ended up transferring to just general music after my junior year. Yeah, stuff went down, and it was just a better fit for me to go to general music. I knew I wasn't going to be a professional oboist, so yeah, that was my whole thing.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, tell the audience what instrument you played, but you kind of just shared at the end. Yeah, I feel like that's a very unique, but honestly, like pretty smart path because you had like a skill that you had that was able to pay for part of your studies, and then still be able to get the degree in more practical.
Yeah.
I want to say that for
Yeah.
musicians out there, but more practical career path. So
Yeah,
oh, it's awesome.
it's good.
Okay. So Michigan and Ball State, yes, they're both in the Midwest. Yes, they're I guess both in the Midwest. I was gonna say they are pretty different. They're pretty different. You said that the Ball State's like the third largest school in Indiana, public university. Michigan is probably the largest in Michigan. Very, very different in terms of especially like diversity within the student body, and also like the student body population as well. Michigan has about 12% when I looked it up, Asian population, and then Ball State has like less than 1%.
Yeah.
So like that in itself is a pretty big difference. So I think that's something we wanted to talk about in that as an Asian podcast. So do you want to talk about your experiences like an Asian person there, other Asians that you met?
I'll be honest, I think I only met like a handful of other Asian people my time there. And we'll talk about like the Asian student unions and stuff a little bit later too. But yeah, there was like a very, very small Asian population. I think I went to an AAPI meeting for my School of Journalism this past semester. And the stat they put on the board of like how many Asian people were enrolled at Ball State, it was about, I think it's like 430 students out of like 20,000, 22,000 with graduate students. Yeah, very, very little Asian population.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you want to talk about like, well, you said you didn't really like interact with or see any other Asians. So was there any like, oh, hey, like we're both Asian kind of thing? Like you kind of have like have a warm approach already, or you just didn't care?
It's not that I didn't care, but I don't know. I was very, very focused on like my classes and stuff, and they're just like the only other Asian people I really interacted with somewhat regularly were mostly international students. So I couldn't really relate. English was not necessarily their first language. I had other things to do, so yeah, I don't think I made a single Asian friend. Maybe one. Maybe the one girl who pointed me out as adopted. I guess I can call her my friend, but that's it.
Sound like a good friend there. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I guess I can kind of talk about the flip side. Michigan, I think, has like 40,000 undergrads or something like that. No, yeah, that's right. And so many Asian people, so many Asian students, international, second gen, even adoptees. Like I've met a few, and I know a few that are still students now. So pretty cool. There's honestly like everything you can, like anything you can think of in regards to like opportunity or club or anything like that. We can get into that later. Um, Asian frat, like it's all there. Pardon me. So yeah, beginning of college, I'd say I was very like um still whitewashed. I don't like when people say that
Mm-hmm.
because it just like sounds weird. But just maybe I'll put it this way, like just wasn't prioritizing like my Asian identity at all, which makes sense because my whole middle school, high school, growing up was just not like survival wise. Like you just didn't, just around mostly like non-Asian people. So like, why would I embrace something that really wasn't rewarded? So um, then I went to college and realized that there's so many Asian people, so many Korean people that like it was almost like you were seen as like an Asian person. Like that was like the first time I felt like I was seen as like an Asian person. So naturally you're gonna talk to more Asian people. More Asian people are gonna like be friendly towards you in like ways that I wasn't used to. Not to say that like other people weren't friendly, but like you kind of know what I mean, if you know what I mean. So joined a couple clubs, joined like I guess we could talk about it now, but I joined like the junior year after COVID hit me freshman year, and I was off all sophomore year because I was 2020 to 2021. There's no one on campus really. Joined the Korean Student Association. So it was just a social club. They had different little like social events, like at least once a month, parties, very casual. So I met a lot of friends there at first. It was very, very hard to like be confident to like fit in because I didn't know like the temperature in the room of the club. Like I didn't know if like like at first I didn't know if they were gonna like be speaking Korean. They weren't. That's like a different club. There's like an international student Korean club. Um, so I was worried about that. Didn't know other people. Was like insecure about my last name. All those things. Um, but yeah, so obviously some people are gonna be less receptive. Definitely had people be like, "Oh, like your last name's like not a Korean name. Like what is that?" And then you like tell them, they're like, "Oh, so you're like you can't even like speak Korean. You don't eat a lot of Korean food, and you're like disqualified," which kind of sucks and really hurt. But met other people, super super cool and super welcoming, and kind of could appreciate my effort and kind of had a little bit more empathy towards me. So have a little friend group that I kind of made over the last couple of years, which is awesome.
Yeah,
So
that's good. So I mean, it kind of goes into our next subject. But did you ever feel the desire to join a frat, either the Asian ones or the white ones?
no, I think going to college, you kind of have to know freshman year whether or not you're going to
Mhm.
join a frat. Um, and I just had like this perception of frat dudes as like stupid drunkards that just do dumb stuff for and pay a lot of money to do like degenerate
Mhm.
things, which is not wrong. But I think I became a little bit more like, oh, potentially interested once I realized like you really are forced to meet like a lot of people, and I did desire like especially after COVID, like going to
Mhm.
junior year, to really meet people and like catch up because freshman year I didn't like put myself out there that much. So in that sense, I considered it. My roommate junior year, he wasn't Asian, he was an Indian guy, but he was in a white frat, and he was like, "Dude, you should join. They'd actually like would get you on. Like it wouldn't even be a big deal that you're a junior." So I like
Mhm.
considered it, but Asian frat, no. The Asian frats are like senior year, maybe like not that I would, but like thinking senior year me. This has been like a
Mhm.
journey or whatever. Um, would have wanted to go back like if as a freshman and at least like
Mhm.
rush or whatever just to like meet a bunch of people freshman year like in the Asian frats, but I would never be like a in one
Mhm.
of those. There's just
Not for
not
you.
for me.
Yeah, like my school didn't even have Asian frats. I think we did have the like Divine Nine, like the historically black fraternities and sororities, but that was the extent of it.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I personally also did not vibe with the sorority Greek life thing. Also, our school is very weird. Like, we did not have sorority houses near or on campus, like at all. Like, no, I don't know. It was like this weird rumor slash law that people thought it was like in our county it was illegal to have like more than like what like five women in a house, or else it was considered like a brothel. So it was like very weird, yeah.
Oh,
So we
what?
didn't even have sorority houses. So I feel like if that were like, I don't know. So our Greek life was honestly a lot tamer than most of these like Big Ten schools that I like have friends at. So like it was just like not a big deal. I could get into frat parties anytime I wanted because they were just like not strict about it. So yeah,
Mm.
I'm honestly I'm okay that I wasn't involved in Greek life. I didn't have time. I didn't want to pay the money, and then also it was just quite frankly very white. Like, I remember this past year, I think the like Pan Hellenic Council, including like the DEI officer, they were all like white girls, like basic, like I don't know. There's just like no diversity, and I don't know like if the Divine Nine had like a separate like council or anything, but yeah, it's just like not my vibe for sure. Mhm.
Interesting. Because I would almost say, like, when I first met you, that I wouldn't have been shocked at all if you told me you were in a sorority, like a white sorority.
What the heck?
Just the vibe you give. I don't know.
Everyone's
But
vibes to me.
but to be fair, I get the Asian frat vibe
You kind of do.
from like people say that. So
Yeah.
goes
I
both ways.
wish there were Asian sororities.
What you know about Asian
Uh,
frats? What do you know about Asian frats?
only a little bit, and it's not great. But yeah, if
Yeah.
there were like an Asian sorority in my school, I feel like I might have been more interested. Although I still did not have a whole lot of extra time, but I would have considered. Hmm. Hmm.
For sure. For sure. Um, yeah, I think, yeah, looking back, I think it would have been cool to just like rush, just like meet people that way and not actually have to
Mm.
pay like the
Yeah,
thousands of dollars a semester
yeah,
just
that's
to
ridiculous.
make friends and
Hmm.
party. But, you know, if you got the means for it and that's what you do, then I'm not going to hate you for it just because I wouldn't
Hmm.
do it. So, um,
Oh
yeah,
wait,
we can move
one
on.
thing that I want to talk about, kind of, I feel like at these Big Ten schools, probably at Michigan too, I feel like there's more people with more money, like generational wealth, whatever. I feel like Ball State, like no one had money, no one was like driving their Lamborghinis down campus or buying tables at a club or anything. We didn't even have clubs, so I don't know what's your experience at Michigan with that,
What with people driving
or
Lamborghinis,
yeah,
people being rich,
or they're like rich frat
affluent and stuff.
kids.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty synonymous with the frat because it's like a barrier to entry. You got to pay it like $1,000, thousands of dollars a semester. So not the normal college student can't do that.
Mhm.
So either their parents are probably just paying it. So frat Greek life stuff is very like legacy generational. So like if their dad was in the
See,
frat,
like my school was
maybe
just
if your
not
son
like
was
that.
also in the frat.
It was not a big deal either way. And also, I really doubt the fees were like that high. Like knowing the frat guys. Yeah.
For your school,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just the market of the
Hmm.
school or whatever. Like there's just like more resources at like a bigger school with more
Hmm.
people. So it's gonna be different. But yeah, there's people that are so rich. It's crazy. But yeah, I met like a couple international dudes that would just have like sports cars and then they just drive them like barely and they would just store them in the winter and not touch them and then just bring them out and drive them maybe like once or twice a
Hmm.
month just
Yeah.
to have them. But
It's cool.
it's cool. I like college because you really get like a whole picture of like less affluent, super affluent. At least for me, it was very diverse
Hmm.
as well. So you literally see all like walks of life and it's really cool that you're all just kind of places. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like mine, just the range did not extend that high. It's all very basic, very middle class people.
Mm, yeah. Um, okay. We kind of touched on clubs and stuff.
Hmm.
You want to talk about your Asian student union
Yeah, I
experience?
mean, our Asian student union was just like not that big. We didn't have the branches of like, we didn't have just a Filipino group, we didn't have just a Chinese group. It's just all one. And then I think max it was like 30 people. I think I only went to one club meeting, and it was this past year. It was fine. It's like everyone's just like sitting around, like they all know each other, playing like Jack in the Box games. So it was like it was okay. It would have been better probably if had started freshman year. Um, but yeah, I was just, and I think a lot of Asian adoptees kind of have this problem. They kind of get into these more Asian spaces and they don't feel Asian enough. I know I felt that way, and I feel like I've heard from friends that they have also felt that way.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah. I felt the same way. Like I was saying, like first time going to like a Korean Student Association meeting or whatever, just being around like a group of only Asian people, just so insecure about like who you are. So I'm like low key like still sick. So sorry if I'm like muting and coughing and stuff. My voice is kind of trailing off. I'm not trying to. Um, so yeah, I just literally took intentional like persistence with like going to those groups and meeting people that way and like bonding through like basketball or like your classes. You meet like another Korean guy in your class, like that like made it a lot easier and like showed that you're not just like this awkward like shy like adoptee, um, which honestly was like the launch point for me to kind of be where I am today. Um, just honestly like those friends that I made in college that I'm still friends with like honestly really helped with like security and like my identity and everything. So don't trade those couple people that like weren't so nice. I would trade it all again to be where I
Mm-hmm.
am. So um, yeah, I just am very grateful that I went to a school that kind of had more um, diversity and kind of availability of that kind of thing, um, for me to even have the opportunity to do something like that to meet more people of my
Mm-hmm.
heritage. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's super cool. Yeah, actually, this past fall, I went up to Michigan for a football game. First time being on campus where school was in session. I have a lot of family in Michigan, and I've like cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents that also went to Michigan. So big fans. But yeah, just walking around on campus and seeing so many like people of color was just so cool, and like how collaborative everyone was. And yeah, it's a cool vibe. I'm very jealous of your college experience to some extent.
To
Yeah.
some extent. Yeah, I'm jealous that you got most of your school paid for. So
Yeah, it's
that's
straight
right on.
off. But yeah, I was up there actually for a football game. Like I said, you wouldn't believe it if I told you I have never been to a Ball State football game in my life, and now I never will, probably. Um, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of football in general. And then this past homecoming, even though one of my good friends, she's in like my closest group of college friends, she was queen of the homecoming court or something. I was gonna go to support, but I
Wow.
was so sick that weekend. It was terrible. I had to lay on my couch. Could not do a thing. It
It's a
is a
bummer.
bummer.
Um, yeah, no, I feel like football games are like a American staple of like
Mm-hmm.
school, high school,
Mm-hmm.
college, tailgating, being with your
Yeah.
friends, school spirit.
I did not have school
Uh,
spirit. Sorry, guys.
yeah,
Chirp chirp.
it's okay. Um, but yeah, going to like football games with my friends was like some of my best memories, junior, senior year, especially even freshman year. And especially in the last couple of years because Michigan was really good. So we were winning a lot. And yeah, just all the students coming in, rain or shine, same great vibes, tailgating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. Yeah, I've tailgated at Michigan and Notre Dame, and I have never tailgated at my own school, so that's okay. Let's talk about a little bit like tailgating, Darties, maybe party scene at our different schools.
Yeah. Partying. Would you consider like going out part of
Yeah.
this conversation or
Yeah,
not really?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't really go to I wasn't like a huge like frat guy and as a guy you're not going to you can't get into like frat parties because you're a guy. So unless you know someone. So I was doing that like junior year. And then would throw a couple house parties. I lived in a house like junior year as well. Have like die table.
I love
die.
die. I'm so good at it.
Okay. Yeah. Toss die. Like have a little darty at your place. Love that. It's huge. You literally just walk around campus and like where all the houses are, where students live. Like everyone has a die, like board, like table, die table. Early is like 7 a.m. when the sun's up. Game day. People are drinking. People are playing die. People are just socializing. It's a dime a dozen. You'll see it everywhere. Super fun. Like I said, going back to more like the Asian scene, I think like the Korean American Student Association that I was in throw a lot of parties, especially senior year, like this one house. So sorry. So like I would go to those and those are really fun because it was not just like Korean people, you could like bring whoever, but it was mostly like Asian people in there and it was not as like loud or like messy as like the club or you don't have to like pay for drinks there, right? So those were super fun. Went with my friends, but yeah, there's just a huge range of like house parties, Asian parties, house parties, tailgates, going to the club, going to the bar. I can kind of get into that, but I'll let you kind of explain like the party scene at
Party scene, honestly, it died a lot once it starts getting cold. So like not a whole lot of house parties, not a whole lot of honestly there's like two bars that people go to. One of them is trash and one of them's like okay. So not a whole lot to choose from, no clubs. Although we did have Mug Club on Tuesdays. That's where my friends and I frequented the most. You bring your own, they have like plastic mugs that you buy. And then you like bring them back every Tuesday and you get discounted drinks. So like you can get any kind of mixed drink for like $4. But yeah, frat parties. So freshman year was when like it was really locked down. We were still on campus, which is great. I know there are people who didn't get to experience campus life during COVID. And then the next year, my sophomore year, was when we started to go out and like they were allowed to have frat parties. We weren't being like persecuted for socializing. So I would go to some of those. They're fun. I liked the themes. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite part of going out, dressing up, especially for a theme. And yeah, it was easy. Any girl basically got in, just because like the population's low. I don't know. So yeah, it was okay. And then junior year, like really nosedives, didn't go out. But then I finally turned 21, and we got to go to the 2 bars in town. And yeah, that was most of it. And then yeah, people tailgated. Some people dartied, but not often, to be honest.
Yeah, it's funny you say that like when it gets cold, people aren't going out that much. I feel like probably a lot less are going out, but like obviously you can't toss die in snow. But people are going out to apartment kickbacks or something, house parties still in the cold, girls are walking around like this,
Mm-hmm.
wearing their little tiny tops and stuff. Don't care about the cold. So you'll see that. So going to like the bar scene, there was like three main bars. One of them was like a club, if you want to call it, which is cool. And they all kind of had three distinct, different like groups of people, I guess, types of people that would go. Uh, One of them was like, and especially like on different days, like Thursday, there's like you go to this one place, and then Friday it's like generally dead. Like people are probably having like a house party or something, or doing like some club event or something. And then Saturday, all three of the places are popping. I would frequent the club one because I like that vibe a little bit more. It's like easier to like dance, better music, like it's actually like DJ, and like a lot more like the Asian population would go there. So it was just like a win-win-win to go there. So my friends and I would go there most of the time on Saturdays, but those are very interesting that there's like different types of people that are showing up to like different
Yeah.
bars.
Dang. Ours were like degenerates and then the other people. That was about it. But oh, one fun thing. So I'm just gonna name drop the bar, whatever. So the like bad bar was called the Chug, but we'd always have this guy called the Chug Man outside, and he'd be like grilling up like barbecue and hot dogs and brats for like all the drunk people to buy.
Nice.
Chug Man, he's very iconic.
Yep,
Yeah, he was
smart.
making bank, I'm sure. I have friends who like got graduation photos with him. Yeah,
Oh wow, he's like
he really
an
is.
icon
Yeah.
on campus, feeding the drunk
Mhm.
student body.
Someone's got to do
Gotta flick
it.
up with him.
Yeah.
Someone's gotta do it.
Describe a typical night out then for you, because I feel like ours was like kind of basically the same every single time we went out.
Yeah. So if I'm going to the club, like let's just say I'm going to that club where the most of the Asian people went. Excuse me. So definitely pre-gaming because not spending $12 per drink. Like when I get there, and I want to get there like feeling something, so that I'm already like ready to go. So have my friends pull up around like 9:30 or I'll pull up to theirs or something to pregame, and then end up like obviously like well I'm already like dressed or gotten ready already, got my fit together, make sure I'm like I'll probably shower before, make sure I'm spraying my cologne, everything like that. I'm like all fresh.
Mhm.
Go to like my friends will pull up, and then we'll probably drink a decent amount, just so we don't maybe at most buy one drink when we get there. And so usually we'd get to the club around like 11:30 or something. It closes at 2. So we would just pull up there. That's usually when it's like packed. Um, Go in, scope it out. If there's any pretty girls, but if not, we just like enjoy the night and dance. And usually we'll leave between like 12:30 and maybe like 1:30. Sometimes all the way to 2, depending on how the night is. Go right outside, either getting one of those hot dogs that is like there's a
Mhm.
hot dog stand right there, or going to get pizza. It's open to like 4. So do that,
Mhm.
recap, sober up a little bit, go
Nice.
home.
Nice.
Easy as that. What's your night out look like?
Ours was very much I mean, some of my friends would get together and like get ready together. I'm very much a person. I have like too much stuff to bring, so it's either like you come to my place and get ready, or I'm just gonna get ready by myself. So yeah, the makeup, the hair, the tiny tops. Yeah, get those done, and then usually we would pregame. Yeah, it kind of rotated if we went to like different friends' houses or my apartment, or I lived in an apartment complex. So I had a couple of friends or like friends of friends who had apartments there. So we'd kind of like combine pre-games. I feel like the pre-game was like not like the most important part. It was just kind of like, yeah, we're just waiting until like 11 when people start going to the bars. And then obviously we'd have our rides all coordinated, head to the bar around then, and then, yeah, dance around the bar, do our little shenanigans, my friends and I. And then I think we usually leave about, definitely usually before 2 when the bar closes. I would say like probably 12:31, maybe 1:30. I'm a big fanatic of late night Jimmy John's. So we'd usually walk to Jimmy John's, grab a little turkey tom, and then, yeah, recap or whatever, and then go home to our comfy beds. Pretty good.
Nice. I have a question. Do you think you have more fun getting ready and pre-gaming, or actually when you get to the venue?
I think it depends on. I like getting ready. Honestly, I don't even care if I get ready by myself. I like blasting music and just like doing my makeup and hair. I would say the pregame itself is like normally boring. Like we're just kind of chatting, drinking, like getting a buzz, but like that's it. I think being at the bar, especially when the music is good, because it's not always good. It's actually usually not good, but when it is good, that's the best part. Like getting to dance on the dance floor with my friends, getting to, I don't know, run around the bar, kind of like. So my school was small enough. I had friends who had like Opps or whatever, so it'd be like, oh my god, like this guy is like over there, blah blah blah, like don't turn around. Just like silly little drama. It like literally did not matter. We had like, I don't know if you had this with your friends. We call them like campus celebrities. And it's not even like people who are famous. They're just like people you put like a little marker on like your freshman year, and you're like, oh, remember this funny story about this? And like, so we'd have like campus celebrities. Sometimes we'd like spot, and it's just like the most normal person. Like they don't even know like half of our names, but we just kind of, I don't know, we make it fun.
No. Yeah, even for like to that point, like even to like a big school that Michigan is, you're seeing like at least like 10 people, 10 people at least you recognize, maybe even 20 people you recognize, and then like 5 people you know. I don't even think I know that. I wouldn't even say like I have that many like people I would know to like go up to, but you always see someone, especially going to the same plots like every weekend. You're seeing a lot of the same people, which could be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
I have something else. Yeah. No, actually. No. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I was just
gonna mention, like, I don't know if you, like, you'd see people from your classes, like, at the bar, and it's, like, such a different vibe, like, right in class, like, you see them, like, they're probably hungover, just, like, barely getting by, like, almost not even in class half the time, but then
during the week, they're hungover?
Yeah. Or just tired. I don't know what their deal is. But then like you see them at the bar and you're like, hey, like you would never talk to them in class or in person, like during the day. But like at the bar, you're like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? Yeah.
That's
I think it's so funny.
So true. The ice is like so broken. When you like lock eyes with someone, especially if you're like both like buzzed, you're just yo, it's you. Yeah. Like, oh my god, like, yo, you did so good on that project. Like you're like talking to them like way like super friendly and like
so fun. Yeah. Okay, this makes me sound crazy, but I love going out. It's just so fun. Everyone is just so open to like talking and having fun. I don't know. Crazy? I think some people look down upon people who like going out.
A lot of people do.
They're like, you're wasting your time. You should be doing more important things. I don't know. I love going out with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those people are like either like hate drinking or they're just like hard asses, but I mean they're not like wrong per se, but I don't think you should, just because you don't like it, like I said, you don't like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that like you need to shame someone that does like it. But what I was gonna say earlier, going back to my question to you about what do you like better, pre-gaming or like when you actually get there? Sometimes, like, I guess you go into more detail of like what we're doing in a pregame. Like we're playing music, we're talking about like what is the plan tonight? Is your crush or like the girl you're talking to, is she gonna pull up? Are you gonna text her? Like what is the plan? Like, oh, I'll be your wingman. Like all that, because guys are like, at least for me, like trying to like meet somebody or just be in close proximity with like a girl that like we might be able to like see that we are interested in or something, or just like getting a girl's number, something like that. Just fun, because I mean, all the power of the social, the liquid
courage.
what they call it, like liquid courage, whatever. Liquid courage go to waste if I don't use it. So that's how I think sometimes. But yeah, we're talking about that. But sometimes you also have like the deepest heart to hearts with your homies when you're just like sitting like arms on the counter like this. The other one's like on the other side, or they're sitting down. You're just shooting and you lose track of time. Like definitely had a lot of those nights as well. It's just overall, it's very fun. But I just wish alcohol didn't come with as many physical consequences and financial ones as well. And you kind of, I'm gonna talk about that real quick. Going to the bar, gonna go there. You buy one drink, or you find a girl you like. You want to buy her a drink, and then sometimes she'll be like, "Oh, can you buy my friend a drink too? Like, can you like not?" They'll say that they'll like give you your number, and they're not ever like, "I'll give you my number if like you buy us all a drink." It's not ever like that, but you can tell like, you know, if you want a chance, you're gonna have to like listen to her and do that. And when you're in like a state of suggestiveness, like you are when you're a little buzzed, a little drunk or something, dude, you're like your card can't leave your hand faster. Like it is just like screw it, like just take the card, like 5 shots or something like that. And then you look at your bank statement the next morning. You got Ubers, maybe you got rides home. You just rack up at least $100.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy. Cover charge. Granted, it's only like $5 to $10 in college, but talk about like at least 2 drinks plus tip, $10 cover, an Uber there and back. That's at least like $70. At least $70. Pizza after, $75. You know,
that is insane. I don't think I've spent more than $15 on a night out. Although, like, right, you drink the liquor and stuff that you have at the pregame already. I'm not gonna lie, I used my mom's money for the sandwiches late night. But yeah, our drinks were cheap. Our covers were non-existent, except on like really busy like Halloween, like St. Patrick's Day weekends. Yeah. Wait, I had a question I was gonna ask you, but I forgot.
Was it something? I could tell you looked like you wanted to say something when I was talking about like buying a girl a drink or something.
I think it was. I guess. Maybe it was just like, are you more often the person approaching people, or? Yeah. Wait. Never mind. That's a dumb question, I think. Yeah. Sorry.
What the heck?
Critical thinking.
Girls are not approaching me like that. Even the most handsome guys are like maybe getting approached, but like I'm no 10, okay? So like I gotta do everything. I gotta go up to dudes. Like maybe a girl will like, you can tell like subconscious. This is another part the club that's fun. You could tell like if a girl you can make eye contact with a couple times, she's like kind of getting a little closer, or you get a little closer to them just so you could like you know feel the vibes. And then, oops, like I'm right next to you now. I have to talk to you. So that's fun. That's so fun. Like that little like game. But no, I'm not getting approached. What the heck?
My bad. Heart goes out to you. You're a survivor for real.
Survivor. Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. Just not getting approached. That's hard. Although, I guess that is the life of a man.
It's the life of a man. That's I know nothing else.
Okay. Well, I take that back.
I know.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. Have you ever? Well, I guess you're. Oh, God. I don't know. You're not being approached, but like, have you ever had someone that you're not interested in, like, kind of latch onto you for the night, and you're like, get away from me? Like, Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
100%. 100%. Uh, yeah, it's like maybe like either like a girl you used to talk
Mhm.
to, or like a girl you used to talk to, or like a girl that you were just very friendly with. And then, I mean, everyone, guy or girl, like there are people that like don't have the social
Mhm.
awareness sometimes. They don't really understand when to just
Leave it.
like they're not like wanted in the
Mm.
area. I'm never like, yo, get away from me, like you're being weird. I'm not that
Yeah.
guy. And that's like crazy mean, but yeah, I definitely have had to just like escape and just like get my friend to like distract, or either not to distract them, but like use them as like a, oh, my friend needs to leave, like
Mm.
sorry, I gotta go, like do that, which I know happens a lot more to girls because dudes are like mad creepy and um get very I don't want to say the word on here, but you know, when
Yeah.
they get drunk, so they're very pushy and among other
Persistent.
things. So yeah, it's persistent. A lot of persistent admirers at the club.
Too many.
I know. So
Yeah.
yeah, what's your go-to like strategy to? Sounds like you want to tell me that you know you have people that you don't want
Oh.
to approach you, or people that you don't want to be around that are sticking around a little too long or not getting the hint. Like, what is your go-to like out?
Um. I don't think I have a go-to out. Honestly, like that's not really what I was getting at. I my go-to
Oh,
out is like I'm small and short. I just go through the crowd, kind of lose them. Um, that's how I do it usually. But yeah, that's all I got.
are you an Irish exit connoisseur
Mm.
spammer?
Um, just like in general, like with my friends and stuff. Or oh,
You either are or you're not. If you have to ask that question, then
I
you're
don't think
probably
I
not.
am.
Like, I'm a
Oh,
huge
I could see that.
gotta go to the bathroom.
Bye.
Oh, like I'll be right
Mm.
back. Gone. Home. Straight to
That's
bed.
crazy. No, I usually rely on my other friends for rides.
Sometimes it happens
No,
like that.
not me.
Yeah, I guess when you can just walk home.
Yeah.
But even I've just Irish exit Ubered sometimes,
Mm.
just because like sometimes when you're either one not drunk enough, two with people you don't want to be around, or three you just get left alone. Which I guess wouldn't really be Irish exiting because you're
Mm-hmm.
already by yourself. But sometimes you just kind of look around. And you're like, I'd rather be home
Same.
right now, and then you just like flips the switch and you just split second decision.
Mm.
You're just gone. Very
That would be
liberating.
nice. I
I
wish I
enjoy it.
could. To be honest, I think we walked home more than we Ubered. And like it was like not a short walk. It was probably like a mile and a half. But yeah, there's only like two functioning Ubers in our like you'd have to wait like 15 minutes. Like it's not like in a bigger town where there's multiple people waiting at like 2 a.m. to like take people home. Like no. Like you're kind of on your own. So normally we'd have a DD. And if it was nice out, we'd walk. But the whole thing about like wanting to leave, there have been several times where it's like, so specifically, there's this thing called Country Chug. It's at the second bar, and it's like all country music. Like, I'm not a big country fan. Apparently, I have a southern-ish accent, but I do like my boots and hat. So I went to my to Country Chug for the first time this past year. So yeah, my first Country Chug is like Shark Week time of the month, whatever. So I was like already not feeling it, but I wanted to go because I, love my boots and hat.
Oh, that's what you meant by
What? Oh, yeah,
that. Okay, sorry. I just realized
big
what you
brain.
meant by that.
But yeah, and like it was not my normal group going, and I get there and I was like so excited, but they were not playing like the fun country, like the country that everyone knows. They're playing like backwoods, like Luke Bryan, like I don't. It was terrible. It was so crowded. I was like, it was too crowded to get a drink. Really, I was getting squished and stepped on and bumped into, and I was just seething the entire time. So I had to go home. I had to leave early. I was gonna start a fight, but yeah. I mean, there's been times like that where I wish I could just walk home, but I don't think I've ever done it by myself. I think I've been too scared.
Well, you said it's like a
It's
mile and a
pretty
half. It's
far.
like
Yeah,
far,
there's some sketchy parts of Muncie.
heavy. Mm. Now there's times where like, especially my younger days, and I didn't like super just being frugal. So I was like, the last thing what I was gonna do is if I could walk, I'm gonna walk and not like
Mhm.
buy an Uber. So a lot of times when you're going home, you're like drunk, even if it's cold, you just run home, and you could just like make it so much faster than like when you're like just
Mhm.
walking. And when you're in that
I can
state,
feel
you don't
it.
even like
Yeah.
feel tired. Like you don't even get tired. You can just like go
Yeah.
forever, low key. Um, you just be home like that, and you're going to bed anyways. It's not like you got something to do that you need to like get ready
Hmm.
for. You just
Yeah, I've
yep
always wanted to do that. It
did
sounds
that
so fun.
a few times.
Maybe in a city. A drunk run.
Yeah,
Drunk run.
drunk runs real.
Yeah.
All right. We kind of really went off on that. Is there could talk about like defining
Yeah.
moments or defining year during your college days? What would you say if you were to give like maybe we could give like one year and then maybe one moment?
I would say my defining year was my junior year. Um, it was definitely, I think that had my lowest low and my highest high. Like, yeah, including the summer getting into senior year. Um, I don't know if we should get into the details of that, but I don't know. What was your defining
You just give like a maybe
overview?
just give like an
Okay.
overview of why.
Yeah.
Give any details.
So my junior year was probably my hardest year. I think generally people say that about junior year of like college and high school. Maybe I remember my high school junior year being trash too. But yeah, I was in a pretty draining, bad sort of relationship. And then I was also just doing a lot. I had internships both semesters. I had my first solo recital, my spring semester of that year. And then I was also like on executive boards for different clubs, like the magazine. I was the president of a ad club, and I had to drop the ad club, getting into my spring semesters because a lot of crap went down. And yeah, it was not good. I was very, very stressed out, very stretched thin. I, at one point, so I'm like allergic to cats, and they give me like hives, kind of. So I went out to California to visit my brother with my one of my best friends for spring break, and my brother has two cats, and it was just like a whole mess. They were like all up in my like on our bed, like in my suitcase, like I could not escape them. So I got hives, and it was like really bad. And then getting back, and just like I had not like I was still like ramping up to my junior recital. So extra stress. I had internship stuff. I had an event that I had to go to in Indy for the weekend too. Just like all of the stress plus like trying to hold on to this toxic relationship, like dumbest move ever. I was just like at my wit's end, and like I would just be like subconsciously like scratching. So I had like hives and like eczema eventually, like between my eyes, like on my eyelids, on my like the insides of my sorry, I keep moving from the microphone, on the like insides of my arms, and then other places too, although like that wasn't as bad. And it was just like it was terrible. I looked like a Disney villain, and it was like I remember it was like the week before my recital. All of my family was coming into town. Like this was like a huge thing. Like I had to pass this recital to like move on in my major. And it's like low key like super embarrassing if you fail it. And I had to go to the urgent care. It was like 5 days before my recital. They gave me a steroid to take. I think it was like an oral like pill. And it got better for the recital, and then it came back like 5 times worse after the steroids wore off. so terrible. It was just like, it was wrecking my self-esteem on top of like some other stuff that was also like just terrible for me mentally. And so yeah, so lowest of lows probably. And then getting into summer, I turned pretty. That was like the high point of my college. Just like whatever, I got to meet so many cool people. I was like not taking as many classes, like doing my two majors. I always had to take summer classes, but that year, because I switched down in my music major, did not have to take a summer class. And yeah, things were good. I loved my time out in LA, loved the people I met. And then yeah, that was probably the highlight of my summer, of my school, my college career. And yeah, things were a lot better then. My skin healed. As you can see, it took a while, but yeah, was in a better place after that. So, what about your defining year,
That's
Josh?
good. Yeah, I would just honestly, it's probably a surprising answer, but it was the year I was home for COVID, so sophomore year. Absolutely was the defining year. So it was like 2020, fall 2020 to spring 2021. So yeah, I was not even on campus. I, like everyone else, was inside a lot. Just had a lot of time, extra time to think, and that's what I used a lot of my time, just thinking about where I was in life, where I'd been. Had like a huge falling out with like a best friend that I had literally since like I was like 2 years old. Like I went to school with this guy. So that happened. Still, yeah, that like still not close with him at all. Like that ruined our relationship, but that really taught me a lot of lessons about like just because you've been like friends with someone for a certain amount of time does not mean like they proportionally have your best interest. And you know, as time goes on, you realize like the friends that you have, especially in like a school setting or whatever, like the only reason you're friends is because you're really in the same environment and not because your personalities or whatnot like truly are matched up and maturity levels, things like that. That was also the year I started going to the gym and like taking that seriously, which is a huge part of my life today. Regarding like self-confidence and stuff, we talked about that last episode, as well as me kind of having the plan to like intentionally put effort into like meeting more Asian people, being around more Korean people, so I could kind of enrich that part of my identity. So I kind of had all that happen within 1 year, despite not it being like a huge like roller coaster of like emotions and roller coaster of per se like events, because I was really just at home. But I think that was the year that really changed like who I was. So from like the old person to, or the old guy I was in high school and like first year of college to today. So that would be my defining year for sure. I don't know about exact moment.
Yeah, I don't know if I have an exact moment, but yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. It's about at the hour mark. And again, I apologies for my voice. I like every night, like this week, like I was sick like last week, but it's like at night, especially if I'm talking at night, I just have to cough. So apologies for that, and apologies for my voice probably being a little bit inconsistent today. But I think we covered a lot of what we wanted to talk about today regarding like school comparison, big state school versus like a smaller, primarily or less diverse school, and everything that comes along with that, party experiences, things like that. But yeah, appreciate you guys as always for listening and watching.
Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, liking, following us on Instagram at Jade USA. And of course, sharing our podcast and what we're trying to do with any friends, any, I guess, family, whoever. But yeah, we appreciate you guys and we appreciate the support. I know I've gotten a lot of great messages, great feedback too from friends and family. So it's been good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, this has been a cool experience so far. Really excited about future episodes and whatnot. But yeah, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. Drop a comment if you have anything to say, good or bad. Always good for the constructive criticism. We're always looking to do better. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that. But until next time.
Bye.
All right. Peace. See you guys.